Oh, he's here again. He's gorgeous. You just can't leave me alone. Well, hello again.
Hi.
You've won, you know.
Won?
The Glove Customer of the Year award. You can get your prize tonight. My place.
I got a confession.
Oh, I know. Cold hands, warm heart, right?
No, warm heart, cold feet. I've been coming here all week, sort of hoping that she'd wait on me.
You've wounded me. Deeply.
I'm sorry.
You're violating our seniority rules, you know. I've been here 4 years. Jesse's only been here 5 months. I should report you.
Well, could you let me off easy just this once?
Well, you just stick right here and hold that little boy look. Spring pose, huh?
Yes, most definitely. Yes, I
Hurry up before he gets away. What? Mr. Gloves. Can you believe it? I give him the best week of my life and he wants to talk to you? Hurry up before he gets away. You wanted to talk to me?
Yes, she called you Jessie, right?
Jessie Kovac. Can I help you?
Well,
Yes.
well, I bought every woman I know a pair of gloves. Family, friends, acquaintances. I've even bought gloves for women who I know don't wear gloves. It's your fault, you see. I've been trying to meet you and ask you out to dinner. I was just wondering if you're qualified to counsel customers with problems like this.
You'll have to excuse me.
I'd really like to ask you out. Oh, I'm sorry. Tonight?
No.
Tomorrow?
No.
What about Wednesday?
No, I don't think...
Thursday.
Miss Kovac.
No! Do you like music?
I play the cello. How's that?
Meet me at the Blue Angel, 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay, is that with or without the cello?
Being here.
And she's here.
Well, it's about time.
Thank you.
Have you made a choice, madam?
Sorry about the table, but look at it this way. If there's a fire, we'll be the first ones out. So, you come here often?
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
you do that quite often, don't you?
Yes.
A daiquiri, please.
Ma'am? So, as I was saying, you come here often?
Once in a while, with Maisie.
Oh, Macy. Oh, she's, quite a girl.
Of course, I don't want you to assume just because Maisie and I arrive together, we necessarily leave together.
Was that obvious?
But then so was I. You see, a girl doesn't like a man to think she's not being constantly pursued.
Well, I wouldn't assume that about you for a minute.
On the other hand, I wouldn't want you to think that I don't leave with Maisie either. You're terrible.
I don't even know your name.
I'm sorry, Richard Kane.
Kane, is in the Kane Mutiny?
No, nothing so glamorous. I come from a long line of bankers, not mutineers. Kane with a K. I said something wrong?
No.
Oh, you don't like bankers? Good, that's all right. I'm not a banker. Not yet, at least. As a matter of fact, I have no intention of becoming a banker. The only problem is convincing my father. He seems to think it runs in the genes, preordained. I keep thinking he cut his teeth on a slide rule. Do you have that problem with your family? Well, you are right, in a sense. I am a Kane mutineer. After 4 generations, one simply jumps ship. Splash. You could tell your folks that I'm an apprentice pirate, but with great prospects. I do plan on meeting your folks, you see. I did not buy 20 pairs of gloves to let you go just after one date.
I suppose you'd return the gloves.
Explain that to your superiors.
Your pirates are ruthless.
No, it's late.
Well, that's why they call them nightcaps. Just one?
I'm sorry. It's been very nice meeting you. Thank you.
Oh, there's somebody else.
In a way.
Only in a way? Well, what about tomorrow night?
No, I'm sorry. I can't really.
Never underestimate the tenacity of a man who's been able to corner the entire New York glove market. Friday? Friday for sure.
Unless the world ends Thursday, I guess.
Kiss me goodnight.
No hands. Hands to yourself. I think you'd better go. Your meter's running.
I think you're right.
Dad?
May I help you, sir?
Where's Jessie?
Oh, she's gone completely insane over this tall, sexy Harvard boy. They had to take her away in a straitjacket. But I'm still available.
I do this wild little thing with a scar.
Macy, I'm gonna become violent in a second.
Fantastic.
Oh, she left for home just a sec ago. You can probably catch her.
Thanks.
Oh, great. Jessie Culver gets Harvard. I get macaroni and cheese and Ed Sullivan.
Jesse! That cab, follow it. She lives in that gray building coming up there.
Guess she ain't going home, huh?
lost. How about you?
You surprised me.
Well, that's a strange coincidence.
Richard.
I'm also stupid. After all these weeks. No, Richard, don't pick me up. I'll meet you there. I mean, it's a relief. I kept thinking the reason you would let me in all this time, you were ashamed of the plaster falling off the ceiling of your old walk-up.
Will you just give me some kind of signal when you're ready to listen, like catching your breath or something?
Oh, hey. No explanation. How a poor clerk from Bloomingdale's can afford a place like this is your business.
My name is not Jessie Kovic. My name is Florentina Rosnowski.
Abel Rosnowski? The Baron. Baron Hotels.
I've wanted to tell you. You know, at first it didn't seem important. I mean, that first night of the Blue Angel, it seemed like some kind of game when I found out that you were the son of William Kane. I didn't know I was going to fall in love with you.
Of all the girls in New York.
All the men in the world, for that matter.
This was my grandmother's. Grandma Kane. I was going to ask you to marry me about 6 hours from now.
I was going to invite you over tonight and tell you everything and try to seduce you. Oh, Richard.
I love you, Jessie.
Florentina.
It's gonna take me some time to get used to that. I love you, Florentina Rosnowski. There never is gonna be a right time. You know that.
It's just that when I tell Papa who you are,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not even Polish.
Well, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about that.
Can we just wait a little while longer?
Do you think the name Kane is going to sound any different to him a week from now?
And what about your father? I can guess what he's gonna say.
You know, maybe we're both wrong.
About us?
About them. Maybe when they hear the good news, they'll forget that they hate each other, at least long enough to congratulate us.
Too optimistic to be a banker anyway.
What astonishes me most, Richard, is that you don't see the unsuitability of this.
I'd say it was the most suitable thing I've ever done.
You could even think of marrying this man's daughter.
I have every respect for you, Father, except where this feud of yours is concerned.
What would you know about that?
And where
What
my
makes you
life
think you
is
have-
concerned.
Okay, would you leave us alone for a minute?
I certainly will not leave you alone.
I don't want to have to wipe up the blood.
Well, I don't think it'll come to that. But you're right. It's time you saw where your son's drifting has brought him.
Just because I haven't wanted to be a banker since I was 3.
You see, I wouldn't be surprised if her father's not behind this.
Oh, for God's sake, Dad. If she's told him by now, he's probably ordered me shot on sight.
Have you gotten her pregnant? Is that the reason for this sudden announcement?
If I didn't love you so much,
Oh, I'm not talking about love.
I'm sorry, that's all I've been talking about.
Richard!
You haven't been listening.
Richard! This is no childish mistake you're contemplating here.
Florentina and I were hoping it might end 30 years of hatred between our fathers. I can see now how childish that was.
Richard, we're a family. We can't just turn our backs on each other.
You're determined to marry this girl, despite what I've said?
Yes.
He's never to set foot in this house again, never. Not a cent! Your sister will get it all, that's a promise.
I don't know if you can believe what a relief that is to me, Dad. I never wanted any of it. And I'm not walking out of here with 1 ounce of guilt for not living up to the KANE tradition. I hope Virginia marries up to your expectations, because I'm marrying way beyond mine.
It's very sudden, isn't it?
No, Papa, not really.
Do I know the boy? Have I met him?
No, Papa.
I don't understand. We've always... Why have you been so secretive about him? What is his background? Is he Polish?
No, he's not Polish. He's the son of a banker. His name is Richard Kane.
William Kane's son?
Yes.
You would consider marrying William Kane's son?
Papa, would you meet him?
Meet that man's son? Huh? Do you have any idea what his father did to me? No, you couldn't even begin to know. I forbid you to ever see him again. Do you hear me?
Yes, Papa.
Well?
I love him.
Love. He can put his tail between his legs and trot right back to Boston.
Cambridge.
ABEL, why don't we just...
You stay out of this. Listen to me. Please. Please listen to me. I want you to use your common sense. Please. There are lots of other men. They would give their right arm to marry you. We are going to Edinburgh and KANE. When you get back, you will have forgotten this, what his name ever existed.
I'm not going to Edinburgh or KANE, Papa. I won't be there when you dedicate your new hotels. I am getting married to Richard Kane.
Well, I'm not going to marry any spawn of William Kane.
I'm sorry, Papa, but yes, I am.
Have you slept with him?
Don't remember ever asking you who you sleep with.
Have you slept with him?
Yes. Oh.
Get out. Get out of my sight. never want to see your face again.
I love you, Papa.
For God's sake, Abel. Without her, what the hell is it all for?
No second thoughts?
A ton of them. Same as you. Where are we going?
As far as we can get. San Francisco.
Good. I'd hate to starve in a place that wasn't pretty.
No joke. I only have a couple $100 to my name.
Rich kid. I got about enough to pay for the cab.
I think you can forget about David Osborne, William. Everybody else has. He's not worth including in these quarterly reports anymore. He's broke. He's in debt to gamblers. He's drinking himself to death. Write him off.
I wrote him off once before. That was a mistake. I should have sent him to prison.
He almost made it recently, on his own. I think the charge was grand larceny, some real estate swindle or something.
What happened? How'd they get off?
The money was repaid. Charges were dropped.
Repaid by whom?
I don't know that for certain.
Rosnowski?
Probably.
I thought you told me Osborne was off the Baron's payroll.
He is.
There's only one possible reason for Rosnowski to help him out. He's got something on our friend Abel from when they were working together.
William, does it really matter what Osborne knows or what he doesn't know about the Baron?
Oh, yes, it does. Rosnowski's still trying to get his hands on enough of the bank stock to start a proxy fight and demand a seat on the board. He's not going to stop unless we stop him.
Okay, I'll follow up on Osborne. It's not an easy man to find. William, have you heard anything from Richard?
I have the Baron to thank for that, too.
Why don't you let your son know how much you miss him?
It's a dump. It shouldn't be renovated. It should be condemned.
Florentina's. I can see it now. The location is perfect.
A midnight mission wouldn't take on a place like this. Are you sure, or are you just crazy?
I married you. Must be, Buck.
We don't even begin to have the money it would take.
I'm not worried. That's your department.
Well, it's just you and me now, baby.
Oh, I forgot to mention.
You want?
Are you calling the rabbit a liar? Oh!
You were right. Rosnowski put up the money to keep David Osborne from going to jail. $10,000.
Just as I thought. I want whatever it is Osborne's got in the Baron. I don't much care what it costs me.
What do you intend doing with it?
Well, it depends what it is.
If it is. You realize you're the last person on Earth that he would sell it to.
If he knows it's me that's buying.
Just saying hypothetically that Osborne has the information. It won't stand up in court unless he is there to testify to it. And that would mean incriminating himself as well as Rosnowski.
Well, he won't have any choice once Abel's indicted, will he?
We've never had to resort to this sort of thing before.
Well, we do now, Thaddeus, believe me.
You know that he is not without friends. There's even talk of his being named ambassador.
Yeah, I know, I heard about that. All the more reason why we should get to Osborne and find out what he's got.
Go out garbage collecting.
Thaddeus, I am in a fight for my life. For my bank. A fight I did not ask for. It will only end when one of us goes under. And I intend to do everything in my power to ensure it is not me.
It's absolutely lovely, Florentina. Thank you. That looks very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Richard deserves most of the credit. He arranged the loan and the line of credit. Kept arguing with the builders long after I would have thrown in the towel. I thought he would be here by now.
I asked him not to. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't suppose we need a referee, do we? Thank you.
Do you feel all right?
Fine. I feel sick at the appropriate times, you know.
I'm a little jealous. Mother always likes to believe her son is missing something in another woman.
I think Richard misses both his parents. Will Mr. Kane see him?
What does your father say?
Anytime, I'm told. Without Richard. I keep hoping that when Papa sees how well Richard has done and how hard he's worked, he might change his mind. Do you know what I mean?
You mustn't ever blame yourselves or each other.
I guess there's really nothing Richard and I can do.
One thing. Try to forgive them. I mean, really forgive them. It's sort of a last resort, an unconditional act of love. I know it sounds foolish, but it helps ease the pain.
Mrs. Kane?
I think she means me.
Mr. Osborne? We spoke on the phone this morning.
Oh, yeah? Still don't know you.
I prefer to keep it that way.
It's fine by me. I already know too many people.
I have a friend who believes that you might possibly have kept a diary of indiscretions over the years.
Abel. Abel sent you. Told him once I could send him to prison. Now, he told me he thought I was bluffing.
Well, perhaps you are. Vague reminiscences are one thing. Documented evidence is another matter, isn't it?
Let's get one thing straight right now. I haven't offered to sell you anything, nor have I asked you to buy anything, am I right?
No threats were made or implied.
Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna say that my good old buddy Abel heard that I was just financially strapped again. And he's offered to bail me out. Enough for it to be once and for all. Is that right?
That's the way you wish it to appear.
Well, then, tell me, just what do you think will be the extent of Abel's generosity?
Let's say $10,000.
No. Nah. You see, that was when I was in just a little bit of trouble. See, now, I plan to travel. And you know, former congressmen always travel first class. Abel should know that. Want to buy yourself a drink?
You know,
The Poles and the Irish, we got a lot in common. And not just the church. Both of us know the price you have to pay for freedom. So you tell Senator Kennedy, I got presidential suite reserved for him to watch himself get voted into office.
And you'll be in Chicago Sunday for the rally?
And any place else he thinks I can do some good.
We won't forget it, Baron.
Got it. Maybe. What do you think he was talking about? Okay, the ambassadorship. Could be Bolivia, Paraguay, Poland. What is that? Your grandson. Sometimes you are too clever for your own good.
Yeah. Well, better than being too down.
You know, I think Mrs. Ryan thinks she's a librarian. She keeps returning books to the library.
If she didn't, the bedroom would look like a bookstore. Richard's in town. He's leaving in the morning.
You never know whether she files them under title, author, or color.
They're going to be opening a second store soon in Beverly Hills. Your son's turning out to be a very adroit businessman.
I'm going to rearrange this whole library. Here's Plato's Republic next to Dickens.
When the realtors found out that Florentina was related to the Baron Hotels, they tried to double the price. Richard took them the balance sheet from the San Francisco store, showed them it was just starting to make a profit, and they gave in. Dare say he'll be the first businessman to succeed in Beverly Hills by pleading poverty.
What's the baby like?
He's talking a blue streak now. Obviously takes after my side of the family. Florentina's done a marvelous job with your grandson. I don't think I could have handled being a wife, mother, career woman. Can I tell them you'd like to see them?
No, I can't.
Left it a little late.
You're just lucky I saved you from disaster.
There just isn't time.
You knew I wanted mirrors all along there. It's a trademark.
You discussed it with the architect. How was I supposed to know?
You were in New York.
Well, that's another thing. Why am I negotiating for store number 3 in New York when we're hardly in the black in San Francisco and we don't know whether we're going to go bankrupt here in Beverly Hills?
We are not going to go bankrupt. We're going to stay right on schedule. San Francisco, Beverly Hills, New York.
London, Paris, Rome.
That's right. You knew that. Losing your nerve?
You want to know?
I want to know.
I think you're trying to see if you can keep up with him. Your father.
Oh, stop it.
I mean it. And what if I don't measure up? What if I don't beat the world?
Would you pull up a sawhorse and sit down here and talk with me? You just don't have a whole lot of experience dealing with young mothers in business, do you?
Oh, you're a mother. We have a child. That's terrific. I almost forgot. By the way, where is he?
At the hotel with your mother. And don't be petulant. I'm the one who should be jealous.
Jealous?
Yes. I sit back in San Francisco and you get to run around and make the dream take shape.
Well, if you wanted to be footloose and fancy-free, you shouldn't have gone to bed with the management.
No, but I'm in love with management. I'm a weak, shameless, ambitious, greedy woman.
Now, I wouldn't have you talking about my wife like that.
I didn't say I wasn't smart, honest, devoted, and adorable.
You forgot impossible.
I'm not trying to prove anything to my father, Richard. This is for us. Even if the world could never see in, I'd want it all for us. Agreed?
It'll be known as the Sawhorse Treaty of Beverly Hills.
I like that. Now, don't get upset all over again. I'm a stubborn Polish girl. I want mirrors. All along there.
Baron.
Senator Williams, how are you? Please, sit down.
I understand congratulations are in order.
Well, thank you. Not official yet, of course.
From what I've heard, it's very official, Mr. Ambassador. You know, I've been in the embassy in Warsaw, and I've stayed in Baron hotels around the world. And very candidly, I think you're making a big mistake.
That is very kind of you. But I still haven't given up hope on Warsaw. Someday, I will have a hotel there, ready for you.
But when you're ambassador, who's going to mind the store? The Baron hotels are a very personal enterprise.
Yes. I am not sure just yet. I had always hoped that... I will have to say. I have to wait and see.
Your attention, please. Your attention, please. All passengers, flight 712. Now boarding at gate 34.
Baron, did former Congressman Osborne offer bribes on your behalf? Do you regard this as a political move to block your appointment as ambassador to Poland, Baron?
Any New York officials accept or solicit bribes, Baron.
And what was the extent of your business relationship with the former?
Baron Abel Rosnowski seemed shaken as he refused to speak with reporters. Just back from the triumphant opening of the new Baron Hotel in Cairo, he has returned to face charges that his chain of luxury hotels was built on a 30-year program of bribery and corruption of public officials.
The government got its hands on Osborne's precious file. The one he wanted to sell you.
I don't believe it. Is he crazy?
Right now he's behind bars. They arrested him in New Orleans.
You've been indicted by a grand jury on 17 counts of bribery and corruption of public officials in 17 states. The warrant will be served sometime today. I got them to agree to do that part of it up here in private, but the charging will have to be in open court.
How did they get hold of this file?
It was forwarded anonymously.
Anonymous? He didn't even have the guts to put his name on it.
Let's not start with William Kane right now.
Kane just cost me an ambassadorship.
The damage is done. Osmond's turned state's evidence. More than likely in exchange for immunity.
ABEL? Okay to pay 5,000.
No.
Yes.
You can't buy your way out of this, Abel.
You're the best dump lawyer in New York, HT, but this has not got anything to do with the law.
Osborne got well a couple of months ago, paid off his gambling debts and moved to New Orleans. Someone acting for the law firm of Cohen and Cohen paid him $50,000.
Thaddeus Cohen, Kane's attorney.
Chuyeto knows him, huh? I can smell it whenever that bastard makes a move. Osborne. Can you get to Osborne?
Well, yes.
Tell him he sold his stinking book to William Kane. He won't testify. Not if his life depended on it.
Now, you call Mr. Parfit.
Who's Parfit? What does he have to do with the case?
To make trouble. I will show him what trouble is. Parfit owns 2% of the stock of the Lester Kane Cabot Bank.
It is all I need to throw William Kane the hell out of there. Call him. Say, I am willing to pay any price he wants for the stock. And this time,
you let him know why.
to Florentine about this. I know you speak with her all the time here.
No, I did not tell her. That should come from you.
She will call. It's only a matter of time. She will call. She will come back.
Here it comes.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think it's big enough.
You better eat it all. You're in trouble. Big trouble. Thank you. Eat, kid.
Well, let's see what we have here.
Uh-oh.
All right, Slugger, go get him. Hit one over the fence. Make sure you don't break a window.
It's got you trained.
Yeah, well, I never had a Yankee cap when I was a child.
Poor deprived kid.
Oh, I forgot. There's something for you here.
Me? You romantic devil. Gloves.
Yeah, Mom, try them on.
Okay. I don't know which one of you guys is worse. What you got in here? Is this it?
That's it, lady. You can now walk right up and open the door to Florentina's at Fifth Avenue. Oh, now, easy, lady. You're embarrassing our son here.
It's okay.
Florentina Rosnowski? I mean, Mrs. Kane?
Yes.
My name is Pearson, Coastal News Service. I've been asked to get your reactions to the news about your father, Abel Rosnowski, the Baron.
Well, my father has always wanted to serve his adopted country and his native homeland. I think he'll make a very fine ambassador.
Then you haven't heard?
What?
Your father has just been indicted on a long list of charges of fraud and bribery in connection with the Baron Hotels.
Florentina. All right, wait here. You understand? Okay? Florentina. Stop. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're not going anywhere. I'm not going to allow it.
You won't allow it? He's my father.
Then let him act like one. I'm your husband. I fought for you. We worked hard to get this far, to build a life together, a happy, decent family. I don't care what your father's done. That doesn't matter. But if he wants you, and if he needs you, he's got to call and ask you, and talk to you like a grown woman.
I wasn't there. Do you understand? It wasn't me. No, you're not listening. I'm trying to say it wasn't me. Understand?
Over there.
I want to talk about this. I've been here. I've been here so long.
Mr. Osborne?
You're wasting your time, Counselor. You're looking at a man who's seen the light.
Very admirable. Of course, you understand that turning state's evidence hasn't brought you complete immunity.
It's brought me a seat in the lifeboat. I was never a great proponent of women and children first.
I understand that you contend that Mr. Rosnowski paid you the sum of $50,000 for the information which is alleged to incriminate him.
If he wants his money back, it's a little late. I'd like you to tell Abel something from me. You tell him that if he was stupid enough to let that stuff out of his hands, then this is his funeral and he deserves it. But I'm not going with him. Personally, I'd like to break his neck.
Mr. Rosnowski never paid you $1 for any stuff.
If that's the way you want it.
The information which you sold, valid or otherwise, was purchased from you by a member of the law firm of Cohen and Cohen. Perhaps Thaddeus Cohen himself. Thaddeus Cohen is the longtime friend and personal attorney for William KANE. William KANE sent him to you. William KANE put up the money and you fell for it. William KANE has obviously used you to get at my client.
Lie! Hold it out. Lie! Get him! Lie! Hold it out, boys! Hold it!
Mr. Jokes, you've heard the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor. It corresponds to our understanding of the charges.
How does the defendant plead?
Not guilty on all counts, Your Honor, and I'd like to ask for a dismissal at this time.
On what basis, Counselor?
On the basis that the evidence is a complete fabrication concocted by a man who has for years conducted a vendetta against my client.
Mr. Prosecutor, am I right? You intend to introduce witnesses as well as documentary evidence?
We do, Your Honor.
May we approach the bench, Your Honor? I'm afraid the government has a problem, Your Honor. I've just been told that our principal witness, David Osborne, has taken his own life. Apparently, he hung himself in a cell.
The bribery trial of the famous hotel magnate ended today when the government dropped 12 of the 14 charges against the one-time Polish immigrant. The Baron pleaded guilty on 2 minor complaints and was placed on 6 months probation and fined $50,000 by federal judge Martin Prescott. The government's case was derailed when its star witness David Osborne committed suicide in his cell while in federal custody.
It's Abel Rosnowski.
What do you want?
I am sorry if my call disturbed Mrs. Kane. But under the bylaws of the Lester Kane Cabot Bank, I am required to notify you as chairman that I now own 8% of the bank's stock.
I don't believe you.
Please do call Mr. Barfield. I am sure he will be delighted to confirm the sale to me of his 2% of the stock. Along with the 6% Miss Lester sold to me.
They won't do you any good.
I intend invoking Article 7 of the bank's bylaws and demanding a seat on the board. Unless I hear that you have resigned. You stole an ambassadorship from me, Mr. Kane. I intend to take your bank.
It's all right, Kate. It's time I finished it once and for all. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. I have been notified by Abel Rosnowski that he has the required 8% stock ownership in our bank and intends to invoke Article 7 to demand a seat on the board unless I resign as chairman. Okay. He called me at home late last night to make that perfectly clear. I want you to know that I pledge my entire shareholdings of Lester Kane Cabot, whatever money is needed from my private trust, to be placed at the disposal of the bank in order to fight any such move Mr. Rosnovsky makes. So I suggest the first order of business is to discuss whether we should vote to rescind Article 7.
Mr. Chairman, this is no longer a simple matter of money or stock or our personal loyalty to you. It is a question of whether this bank should engage its energies and resources in what is clearly a 30-year vendetta between Mr. Rosnovsky and yourself.
I am trying to save my bank.
It is not your bank, Mr. Chairman. And to be frank, your leadership under these circumstances must be very seriously questioned. Mr. Kane, may I ask you a personal question? Mr. Kane, were you in any way involved in supplying information to the Justice Department which resulted in the charges against Abel Rosnovsky?
He was trying to ruin me and this bank.
In the absence of a denial, are we to assume that you did forward a file to the authorities to prompt the federal indictment?
Yes, I did.
Do you realize, Mr. Chairman, that your action has put every member of this board in jeopardy? Our reputations, our careers, everything this bank stands for. The fact that you could, with malice, help initiate federal criminal charges against a major stockholder of this bank is evidence enough, we feel, that you can no longer be relied upon to lead the management of this institution. We have informally agreed to spare you and ourselves the embarrassment of a vote of confidence. I've asked Mr. Leach to prepare a letter of resignation which should meet Mr. Rosnovsky's requirements.
Time flies, doesn't it, Ted?
It sure as hell does, William.
Borrow your pen?
Sure.
Mr. Kane? Mr. Kane! Mr. Kane! Help! Somebody help! Go for a doctor.
Just take it easy, Mr. Kane. The ambulance is already here. I'll stay right with you. Now just relax.
Yes, dear, I'm right here.
Miss Richard. Where's my boy?
That's right, Mr. Rosnowski. I have his letter of resignation in my hand. Would you like me to read it to you?
No. I don't want you to read it to me. Just file it. Tell Mr. Parfit his shares will be resold to him. And my remaining 6% will be offered to the bank at the price we agreed upon. What do they think? Is he going to be all right? No. No, that is all. Thank you. Where are you going?
You know very well where I'm going. Do you want to come along?
No. I got a lot of things to do.
Oh, excuse me. You have got a lot of things to do. Did you throw away the invitation?
Probably. I don't remember. Probably.
Well, I am just a damn immigrant Polak. I cannot afford to throw away invitations to classy affairs. I am not a baron. If I were her, I wouldn't have even sent you one.
I feel fine. I am not an invalid.
And you look fine. But you're going to stay put and relax. Just like the doctor ordered. And don't try to charm me. Save that for Florentine and Richard. I'll bring them both back with me.
And the boy, too. I want to see my grandson.
You're getting impossible in your old age. Your grandson's in bed. You can see him tomorrow.
Takes a little dying to make a Kane come to his senses.
And there'll be no more talk like that.
I remember the day when I first told Matthew that I'd met the girl that I was going to marry.
I suppose that was long before you told me.
Yes, I recall.
I like you. What did he say?
Well, he said, then your marriage will closely resemble your banking career. Anyone directly involved will only be informed long after you've made your decision. Any regrets?
A few. Starting with how long it took you to ask me. I would have married you the first day we met. We'll hurry back.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, Mom. I'm getting set to go home. You ready?
I have been ready for this for oh so long. You two go on up alone. I'll be up in a minute. Go along. He's probably already heard us come in.
Father, I'd like to meet my wife, Florentina. Father? Father?
Where have you been? I called all over for you yesterday. They said you went to Chicago.
They were right. I flew to Chicago.
What for?
Because Curtis Fenton asked me to.
Curtis Fenton? I thought he was dead.
No, but when he heard that William Kane had died, he thought it was time you saw this. In the event that William Kane precedes Mr. Rosnowski in death, the following confidential information is to be forwarded to Abel Rosnowski without delay.
No! The original $2 million to save the old Richland hotels. I always thought it was David Maxton of Stevens Hotel. And it was William Kane. William Kane gave me the money. He considered me good investment. A clause of his trust was never to reveal the source of the money. He considered me a good investment. He's a banker to the end. Fool. We could even have been friends.
Lord, thou hast been our refuge from one generation to another. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever the earth and the world were made, thou art God from everlasting, and world without end. Thou turnest man back to the dust, and thou sayest, return, ye children of men. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night. Thou carriest them away as with a flood, and they are even as asleep. In the morning they are like grass that groweth up. In the morning it is green and groweth up, but in the evening it is cut down and withered.
Papa?
Ojcize, od dzięczego syna. It was my late father's final wish that I dedicate this, the last of his great hotels, to the spirit of the people of Poland. It was his lifelong dream that he leave his mark on the land of his birth. In his memory, I dedicate the Warsaw Baron to the people of Poland in the name of his grandson, William ABEL KANE.